Episode 4 was actually probably the most meh one that I've gotten so far. And I felt it was only meh because it probably lasted longer than it really needed to. I feel like this is the first time I felt like an episode went past the ending that it needed to have.
Well, the funny thing is, Gift, I feel exactly the opposite to you. I thought last week was a really poor one, and I was disappointed. Of all the things that happened last week, I was like, it had its moments. When Danny Trejo turns up with the Rancor, and the Wookiee goes crazy.
Right, like going crazy on the Bantha tank.
Yeah, it had its moments, but it's kind of it's summarized to me with those kids on those bikes. I did not like those kind of kids on that bike, and the whole way they were introduced. Hey, who are you? Oh, who are you? Why don't you go get some work? We can't get any work. Oh, come work for me. Okay. It was droll, and they
290s TV show.
How do I say this without offending you, Gift? They remind me of the Power Rangers with all the colours on their bikes. And I thought, no, I don't have the Power Rangers. I thought this is too Gift. This is too much for me and Waters to handle. Those bikes, I can't believe.
Hey, we want teenagers with attitude.
Oh no, and I was getting frustrated because and I still am a little frustrated, even if I like this episode more. I'm getting frustrated that we're not seeing Boba Fett really put his stamp of authority. Like, he's not really, at one point on tonight's episode, they're having dinner and the Rancor pit is underneath them. You can hear the Rancor come up at one point when some of these baddies start getting a little bit narky, and he reminds them who's boss. I want more of that. Because that was the Boba Fett we saw in The Mandalorian, when he just opened up a can of whoop ass.
Right.
And he beat up everybody. This one.
Yeah, but I think we're leading up to it.
I don't want to lead up to it. That's what I signed up for from day one. I want to see that guy. It's now 4 episodes in. I want to, because someone said to him last week, Stephen Root's character, which was kind of funny, he said to him, word on the streets that you're soft. And I went, yeah, I concur. Let's see you, show a little bit of muscle. He's got his big black Wookiee there, and he's ready to kick ass. And we all want to see that. But I'm frustrated because, as some people pointed out, the stuff in his past is more interesting than what's going on in the present.
I will say that has been a little bit of an ants to me as well too. Like you got a little bit of it whenever he fought the bikers, initially. But I have been trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, when do we get like Boba in completion? Like, all right, he goes into the bank tank. You like a person who's calm, because if they're calm, their badassness gets higher. So like, if you push them to their limit, they will destroy you. But it's like, we keep getting calm, but we're not getting the full push to the limit. So I don't disagree with you on that. Like, it's been
but you saw him go nuts on the bikers.
We got a sample. We got that sample. But it's not but that was like in the past. Now you want it to be like, okay, now show me so that we can like really believe that you're a daimyo. Like, let me really see the daimyo come out, because
he needs to stand his authority. He wants to be a gangster. Like, he wants to be the Godfather. We need to start seeing something.
The daimyo, I think, is like loosely based on like Japanese shoguns. Right. So, I think daimyos are basically, they're not gangsters, but
they're warlords,
community leaders. Like,
they're warlords.
Community warlords. Like they know when to try to be diplomatic, but they also know when to strike. So I think he's showing that the whole dialogue with Fennec Shand about, we could have saved a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of lives if people were just smarter. I think he's trying to do just that. Like, instead of
Right.
just going shoot 'em up like everyone, he's trying to go the Shogun way of being like calm, but knowing when to strike when needed,
Yeah, I want to see him
which I think
strike.
fits perfectly.
I
Yeah,
think the only thing that just makes it hard is just that you want to see the example of a sample of a strike to be able to establish
Yeah,
the reason why he wants to be diplomatic. It's not a
yeah,
factor that he can't, it's that he chooses. And while
yeah,
it's emphasizing that he chooses, we don't feel like it doesn't feel consistent that it's like you're doing like FedEx Shan obviously can take care of it, and we know Boba can take care of business.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like you want to be like, all right, just show it just once, just
yeah,
to
yeah.
let us be like, okay, this is what you can do, but you're gonna ease off with your band of military cyborgs, which I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, that whole component of it, even
you
with this, kind of confused me a little bit because I'm like, yo, you guys are low key making a bunch of like weapons. So all these kids that do
yeah,
it, like, why isn't anybody trying to just take them out? Because all of them are
Yeah.
enhanced.
I was thinking about the Mandalorian, and because you compare it to this, that's its kind of predecessor, and thinking about the relationship that the Mandalorian had with Baby Yoda, right? And I'm not saying we bring in another cute little Baby Yoda in, but what you had there was you had these two contrasts. You had this Mandalorian who's a lot like Boba Fett, quiet, softly spoken, carries a big stick, and then you've got this gentle little thing. But we don't have anything here to offset. But we don't have someone like a chatty character or someone opposite there that can kind of bring the best out in him. You know what I mean? Like, what's her name again? What's
FedEx Shans.
Yeah, I would. She's very much like him. Very tough exterior, doesn't give much away, kind of. And they're just so similar. I'd like to see a little bit of like the buddy cop thing going on.
I feel like the opposite to him is it's man versus nature, not man versus man. I think in Mandalorian it was man versus man. And I think what we get here with Boba Fett is what we've been seeing, how he is in his demeanor versus the environment that he's in. And the environment works as a character. Every new person, their job isn't to be the opposite to him, it's to express what the nature is providing as a conflict towards him. So
Yeah, I just need. There's just everyone just seems to be the bit the same. Everyone just seems there's just one note characters, and I just want to see something a little fresh. So everyone's kind of that's the girl to whoever that girl is at the bar. She's an example of someone who's something different, not gruff, not rough. Speaks more than 3 syllables at any one time. There's not a lot. This is and last week, I was pretty much ready to put the blame on Robert Rodriguez. Now, you know who he is?
of course,
And
Grindhouse.
Grindhouse, Dusk Till Dawn. And last week's episodes, I think he directed it, really reminded me of some of his stuff because, like most people, I really respect Rodriguez, right?
Right.
There's a lot of, he is one of the kings of independent film. I made El Mariachi for like $20 or something, and his stuff is always interesting to look at, like, because there's always lots of stuff happening. Like a leader, what's her name? Leader, that last film he did. But
the leader, the battle warrior, whatever the heck.
Yeah, but he's not a subtle. He's not a good character-based storyteller. He's not. When you look at some of his stuff, like you look at it and think, oh, that's not so good. And I felt last week's shared some of his strengths and weaknesses. I thought this is a very Rodriguez type episode, particularly when I saw those kids. I thought, oh, this is like Lava Girl or something, you know. Was it Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I can see that.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe! Subscribe!
God, oh God. Oh God.